Have you ever wondered why German sounds so backwards when you translate it directly into English? Or why it sounds like something little Yoda would say from Star Wars? Well, today we'll talk about that. But first, I'm Carlie Sitzman. I am a linguist who teaches German and helps people communicate effectively in the language. So if you want to regularly receive videos with tips and tricks for learning German, subscribe below so you don't miss a single one. Okay, backward sentences. In English and German, a very simple sentence with a subject and an action verb are actually almost identical. If you say, I send, ich schicke, it's exactly the same. The subject is first and the verb is second. If you add something else, like a direct object, ich schicke den Brief, I send the letter, the word order is still exactly the same. So these sentences are looking very, very similar. Where it gets confusing is when you add a modal verb, which is können, which is can, sollen, should, wollen, want. There are a few more. Müssen, must, dürfen, may. When you add one of those to a German sentence, it will always, always, always kick the action verb to the end. And usually you do have an action verb, right? In English, you would much rather say, I must send the letter than I must. I must what? If you say in English, I must send the letter, let's look at that. You put the action verb directly after the modal verb. And that is the only thing you can do in English. You cannot put it after the direct object. You cannot put it at the beginning of the sentence. You cannot put it before the modal verb. The action has to go after the modal verb. In German, when you say, I must send the letter, you say, ich muss den Brief schicken. And that action verb got kicked all the way to the end. And that is the only place that action verb can be with that modal verb in the sentence. It has to be at the very end. And that is why it sounds so backwards. So when you have details, they all go in the middle no matter what. You could say, I send the letter on Tuesday at 5 o'clock in my house. All of those details are going to go in the middle, and schicken will still be at the end. Ich muss am Montag 7 Uhr von meinem Haus den Brief schicken. Again, you added so many details, but that verb, that action is still going at the very, very end. And that is something you would never do in English. And it probably feels very, very awkward to an English learner. But that's how German works. Another reason that German sentences sound backwards is because of the way questions are formed. In English, when you form a question, you usually just add do to whatever formulation you already have. So if you're saying you write and you want it to be a question, you say, do you write? You didn't change anything, you just added the do. In German, if you say, du schreibst, and you want to ask, do you write, all you do is change the order of the words. So you put schreibst first and du second. Schreibst du? And that's the question. In English, you would never do that because it would sound like write you. No one says that. So those are the two reasons that German sentences sound backwards to English speakers. But to German speakers, they sound perfectly normal. So if you can keep that in mind and get your word order straight, you will be an effective German speaker. Let me know if you have any other questions about German word order below. Otherwise, happy learning. I'll see you in the next one. Tschüss!